What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Primetime Sports Podcast, hosted by Joey Larry. So tonight is the 149th Kentucky Derby. I'm going to record a quick preview right now with the Sports Encyclopedia, the Sports Wizard. Paul from Southie is going to come on here and talk in just a minute, give us predictions for the Kentucky Derby. Knows a lot about horse racing. He is a guru in that field. So excited to get his opinion. We're going to break down some of the field, talk about some runners that we're a fan of, some horses that we think could make a run, and then also some long shots that we think could surprise. So, how are we doing, Paul?
Joe, doing great. How are you today?
Doing well, excited. Should be a good night, huh? 6:57 is post time, so I know you're ready.
Yeah, it's like the best race of the year. And, with so many great races, Triple Crown, Breeders' Cup, Kentucky Derby is right there as maybe the best race in the country.
Definitely. I know you're psyched. So, yeah, I would agree with you. I think the Kentucky Derby is right up there. It's one of the best events in all of sports. Obviously, a lot of people are going to be watching. People pack it every single year, and it's big considering it's so historic with it being the 149th one. So, we're looking at last year's. Going to give a quick preview of this year, obviously, but talk about last year really quick. Rich Strike, 80-1 odds, the number 21 horse in the race, 80-1 odds, came at first, so you never know what to expect, right?
No, with so many entries, like this is the most entries, I think. It's like 20.
There's 18. There was 23 originally. There's 18 since there were 5 scratches, including Forte, the favorite. He was scratched, like you said.
I got that noticed a little while ago, like earlier today. I was shocked because he was clearly the best horse in the race based on his numbers.
Yeah, and he won't be there. So there is a new favorite now. It's Angel of Empire, which I'll talk one second before I jump into this year's. Last year, Rich Strike, 80-1 odds. As I said, one. Epicenter was second place last year, number 3, 4-1. If you got the double right and had 21-3 as a double, $1 would have paid $1,300 last year. That's how crazy of an underdog pick, a long shot pick, Rich Strike was to place. If you did that double and had him with Epicenter 21-3 there, $1 won $1,300. If you did it 21-3 exacta, $2 would have won $4,100. That's how crazy it is. You never know who's going to win.
Yeah, that's crazy. 80-1. That's why it's worth it to play a couple of 50-1 bombs, we call them, because anything can happen in such a large field.
Definitely, for sure. So let's talk about this year's. Obviously, Angel of Empire now, the number 14 horse, 4-1 odds now updated. He is now the favorite. How do you feel about who do you think is going to win? Obviously, now the favorite is Angel of Empire. Do you think he's going to be up there, still place? Obviously, I think he'll be placing, but where do you think he'll place? Top 1, 2?
I think he's obviously, I like either him to win or Tapit Trice to 5. I think they got the best lines, and I think their jockey, I kind of like a jockey who won this race before.
Yep.
And I can't remember who's on which horse, but I think that's an advantage. So
Tapit I can tell you right now.
Angel of Empire are the two best horses in the race now.
I would agree with you. There. Tapit Trice, I can tell you who their jockey is. Just give me 1 second here. Tapit Trice's jockey is Louis Size.
Yeah, I don't think he's won it, but he's a top ranked. He's a very good jockey.
And then the other one you want to be looking at was Angel of Empire.
Yeah.
His jockey is Flavien Prat.
He definitely won this before, so that's a big advantage because, this is the longest race these horses are going to run unless they run the Belmont later in June. So a mile and a quarter is farther than they've ever run before. So a lot of horses get burnt out. It's a very deep stretch. So
Definitely.
Even if you 3/4 of the race, once you hit that last turn, it's like you got another half a mile to go, and anything can happen.
Definitely. So Angel of Empire, 4 wins in his career, 1 second place finish in 6 races. So 4 wins in 6 races, clearly a winner. The last race he was in, he finished first in the Arkansas Derby by 4.5 lengths, or 4.25 lengths, which is very impressive. Heard he has a patient running style, has been successful obviously with doing that, and like you said, it is a long race, so maybe patience obviously is a virtue. Maybe you'll win if you're patient, but we'll see. So that's one favorite right there, and obviously Tapit Trice, the number 5, 92 odds, so plus 450 in American odds. Last race came in first in the Bluegrass Stakes by a neck. Career record, 5 races, 4 wins, and a 3rd place finish. Was 3rd in his debut, and this is Tapit Trice. 3rd in his debut, and then won 4 straight races heading into the Kentucky Derby. So he's red hot right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of horses that have won their last race. That always helps. I'm also looking at a horse, Two Phils.
I saw Two Phils, yep.
Is he the 3?
3.
And I know he had the highest rating of all the past performances of any of these horses. It was 107. I
Yeah.
mean, that well, the Forte got 107 is head and shoulders above anybody else's rating for any race recently, I believe.
I would agree with you there. Yeah, it's going to be obviously a fun one to watch, and he could be a guy that surprises right there. Two
Yep,
fills.
got a chance. Yes.
Two fills could be the guy that surprises. But so that's one guy. Obviously, you like is Tapit Trice, Angel of Empire, two fills as well. I like Hit Show, the number one horse, 26-1 odds. Heavy long shot, I get it. 3 wins in his career, 1 second place finish in 5 races. I think he's a long shot. Obviously, you know at 26-1, you know he's a long shot. So it's not even I think. But I have a feeling he's going to place. Supposedly has a great kick at the end. He did draw the number one post, which hasn't had a winner since 1986. So it's hard to say that guy's going to win. But he is my favorite long shot. I think he could surprise.
Well, he's fine. He certainly doesn't deserve to be 26-1. I thought he would have been around 10-1. I agree. His lines are impressive, and he certainly has that late kick, which comes in very handy at this track.
Definitely, it's a long race, like you said. And then King's Bun, the 6 I also like. 10-1 odds. 3 wins in 3 races. He's a winner, undefeated, obviously 3-0. I think he's going to place for sure, 10-1 here, so isn't that heavy of a long shot. The last race he was in finished first in the Louisiana Derby by 3.5 lengths. So obviously quick, obviously successful too with doing that. 3 wins in 3 races. So as of now, my trifecta, I'm going to go with 14 Angel of Empire, 1 Hit Show, and then 6 King's Bond. A little bit of long shot. I also like Tapit Trice. Is the number 5 horse, 92 odds, plus 450 in American odds. Last race, first in the Bluegrass Stakes by a neck, as I said. Mentioned that already. Career record for Tapit Trice, 5 races, 4 wins, and a third, as I said. So, very impressive numbers there. Who do you like for a trifecta or a double, whatever you want to go with?
Well, if I'm going to play the chalk, I usually do different combinations. If the race, you never know, it's going to come out one way or another. And one way is you play the horses that look the best, maybe with the lowest odds. So it'd be Angel of Empire, and then Tapit Trice, and probably anybody can come third in a race. So maybe even 2 fills, and then if you look at the race another way, it could be a long shot race like last year. Even though Epicenter was great, Rich Strike beat him at 80-1. If you're looking at a bomb long shot, I think this Mandolin Hero at number 22.
Yep, Mandolin Hero from Japan.
Yeah, I mean the Japanese horses. I don't think they've done too well here, but his lines look good, and I think he's a worthy long shot. So I'll probably play a trifecta with a couple of long shots. And Mandolin Hero would definitely be one of them, and maybe even Disarm. Steve Asmussen, I think, is his trainer.
Disarm, 24-1, number 11 horse. Yes,
Yeah,
you got it, Asmussen.
People liking him. Asmussen he's won more races as a trainer than anybody in the history of trainers, I believe. So you can't sleep on Disarm either.
I would agree with you there. Mandarin Hero from Japan, 21-1 odds, the number 22 horse in the race. As you said, from Japan, they haven't done great in the Kentucky Derby, but there's 2 horses from Japan, actually. You have Mandarin Hero and then Derma, which I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right. Soto Gaki?
Yeah, something like that.
Number 17 horse?
I think his owner is a dermatologist. That's why it's Derma.
Funny.
I read Japanese. So, his odds are a lot better. What's he about, 10-1 right now?
8-1. And then 2 fills, you mentioned. The number 3 horse is 8-1. 2 fills.
I like fills. I think 2 fills definitely going to... I would put him in, what they call exotic bets, like if you play a trifecta or a superfecta, he certainly could be in the back end.
Definitely. And his jockey is Jareth Loveberry. Don't know anything about him, but his trainer, Larry Ravelli. I think I've heard that name before.
Yeah, Larry's been around. He's a very good trainer.
So we'll see. There's one of the biggest long shots. I think the second biggest. The biggest is Jason's Road. Right now, 32-1 odds. The number 12 horse. The biggest long shot besides that, though, is King Russell, the number 23 horse. And that's one guy I'm going to be rooting for. I love Russell Westbrook. So I think King Russell, if I had to pick a long shot that I'm going to root for besides Hit Show, it would be King Russell. In his career, 1 win, 3 seconds in 6 starts, so it could be actually too hard for him to win this race. But his last race came in second in the Arkansas Derby by 4.25 lengths. Lost in that to Angel of Empire. Angel of Empire won that race by 4.25 lengths. Coming in second was King Russell in that same race, second behind Angel of Empire. Only 1 win, though, in 6 career starts. So we'll see what happens. He's plus 3,100, 31-1 odds. Obviously a heavy long shot there. But I know you're a big fan, though, of obviously Tapit Trice. Angel of Empire, and then also you like as well too, Phil. So here's your three right there. And then who's your biggest long shot that you're a fan of that you're rooting for? It was Mandarin Hero, right?
Yeah, Mandolin Hero and I think Disarm would be in the back of my tickets. Yes.
Okay, I'm with you there. My biggest long shots I'm rooting for is Hit Show. I think he's going to place, and also King Russell. If I had to pick my order right now, I'd go 14, 1, 6, 5. That's just a guess. As for you, you got 5, Tapper Trice, and Angel of Empire, right? So 5, 14, 3, somewhere in that.
Yes,
The
that's
three's two
right.
fills. And then Mandarin Hero is 21, I believe, right? The 21 horse. 22 horse. 21.
22.
22, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So you like overall 5 Tapper Trice, a combination of this 5, 14, 3, and 22. So there we go.
That's right.
Hey, I appreciate it, Paul. Thank you so much for coming on. Anything else you want to add in before we close?
No, I hope it's a great race, and I hope we cash, Joe. So good luck.
Thank you so much. Best of luck to you as well. Best of luck to everybody listening. Thank you so much for coming on, Paul. Always a pleasure. The Sports Encyclopedia, the Sports Wizard, knows his horse racing. Thank you for coming on, Paul. Truly was a pleasure. Thank you. And right before we close, I know you did just mention right before I did close the episode, you said you do like another long shot that could potentially be a guy that places, and that was Sun Thunder, correct? Number 13?
Yeah, I like number 13. Maybe his combination trainer and jockey. I think they got this horse primed for a really good race. I think his numbers have looked good, and I think the distance, which is like the longest they've run, as I said earlier, it's going to help a horse like him pick up some horses that just don't have it, to finish strongly. I think Sun Thunder could finish strongly and make the board.
I would agree with you there. If you look at Sun Thunder's numbers, 6 starts, 1 win, 1 second and 1 third in those 6 races. Last race he was in 4th in the Bluegrass Stakes by 6.5 lengths. But as you said, anything could happen right now. I believe Sun Thunder is a 31-1 odds, a 30-1 odds. So heavy long shot, but you never know. The number 13 horse as well. I know you like the number 13. I do as well. Maybe it would be a lucky one.
I like his trainer, Ken McPeak, I think, and I like his jockey, Brian Hernandez Jr. And they've been a very successful team recently at tracks throughout the country.
Yeah, you know your stuff. You know all the jockeys, the trainers, the owners. You know it all.
Yeah. All the info is good, yes, but you got to be lucky too. But yeah, it helps.
And with Forte going down, he was the 15 horse, 3-1 odds, was scratched today though. That was obviously a big upset to see. Obviously seeing that happen, big disappointment.
Oh yeah, he was clearly the best horse. He had overall like the best ranking of all the entries, but it's too bad. It's a tough loss for his owner, Mike Rapoli from New Jersey. He owns a lot of great horses, but I'm sure he's very sad now about that news.
You're right. So we'll see what happens. I mean, obviously anything can happen though, but seeing Forte go down isn't great. But it does change everyone else's odds, and maybe it's going to be easier for some people, obviously, to come back and obviously make a run. One less horse in the race, one less person you have to beat to try to win. So anything can happen. It's an unexpected race every year, right? It's a surprising race every year.
Absolutely, but it's because it's just so many entries that you really can't get a handle on it because you don't know who's going to get crowded and have no room on the turns and get pushed wide. You don't know who's going to, fade badly because they never run this distance before.
You're right. I was looking at a lot of horses and their records, right? Wins and losses and second and third place finishes. But the reality situation is every single track is different. So you never know how one's going to do on this track. It might be better on this one. It might run their career best on this track. But then in a smaller race, they might not do as well. It's definitely different. That's why it's hard to really translate their past to now. That's why looking at the rankings is good because at least it puts everything into perspective. So I would agree with you that you never know how someone's going to run.
That's right. I mean, you know who's going to get jammed on a turn.
Right.
I mean, it makes all the difference in the world.
100%. I agree with you there. So 6:57 post time on NBC. Obviously 1.25 miles race, so it's a longer race, and there's 18 horses and anything can happen. So hopefully it'll be a good one. I know you'll be watching. You'll be psyched. It's in Louisville, Kentucky, right? Churchill Downs. So roll Louisville football. I love Louisville football as well. But
Absolutely.
thank you so much for coming on, Paul. Always a pleasure. Enjoy it. Best of luck as well. Hopefully we cash in, as you said.
I'll see you at the window.
I love it. Thank you, Paul, for coming on. I appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a great time watching.
Good luck. You too. Bye-bye now.
So that'll conclude the episode. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this. As always, I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great time watching the race. Hopefully everybody gets to go out today and enjoy the sun. Beautiful day here in Boston, 70 degrees. So enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. And thank you so much for listening. It does mean a lot to me. I'll be back with you guys again soon. Enjoy your weekend and have a good one. Thank you.